Welcome back to our channel. Today, in quiet reverence, we remember the talented artists who left us too soon, some only just days ago. From the icons of Hollywood to rising stars, they each brought light to the world of entertainment, until they passed away suddenly. If you feel moved by their stories, we invite you to leave a like as a silent tribute in their memory. Thank you. Now, let us begin.
Picture that I remember stuck in my mind was
Farewell to a Hollywood tough guy. Michael Madsen, star of Reservoir Dogs, dies at 67. Michael Madsen, the veteran Hollywood actor known for his unforgettable role as Mr. Blonde in Reservoir Dogs, has tragically passed away at the age of 67. His manager, Ron Smith, confirmed the actor was found unresponsive at his Malibu home on July 3rd, with the cause of death ruled as sudden cardiac arrest. A poetic soul behind a tough exterior, Madsen built a remarkable career across more than 300 films. From Kill Bill to The Hateful Eight, his work with Quentin Tarantino defined a generation of cult cinema. Whether playing villains or complex anti-heroes, he left a legacy of depth, danger, and charisma. Though his screen presence was iconic, Madsen's life was not without hardship. He filed for bankruptcy in 2009, struggled with tax debts for over a decade, and lived modestly in his final years. Yet through it all, he never stopped creating. Acting in new films, publishing raw, heartfelt poetry, and preparing for a comeback that sadly never came to fruition. His sister, actress Virginia Madsen, shared a heartfelt tribute, remembering his laugh, his voice, and the boy he once was. Actor Walton Goggins called him a poet, a bad boy, and a one-of-a-kind soul. At the time of his passing, Madsen's net worth was reported at $500,000, a modest sum, but a rich legacy in spirit. We invite you to share your memories in the comments and subscribe to honor the artists who shaped our cinematic history.
Well, in the original script of Jedi, he didn't appear.
Farewell to Kenneth Colley. The beloved Admiral of Star Wars has passed at 87. Kenneth Colley, the beloved British actor best known for his role as Admiral Piett in the original Star Wars trilogy, has sadly passed away at the age of 87. His agent, Julian Owen, confirmed that Colley died peacefully at his home in Kent, England on June 30th, after contracting COVID-19 and developing pneumonia following a fall. Friends were by his side. Colley's career spanned more than 6 decades, with over 150 screen appearances. He was the only actor to portray an Imperial officer in more than one Star Wars film, making him a cherished figure in the franchise. Fans also remember his role as Jesus in Monty Python's Life of Brian, 1979, and his haunting performances in Firefox, Brassed Off, and Shakespeare productions for the BBC. Even in his later years, Colley remained active, starring in films like Dan Hawk's Psychic Detective, 2024, and lending his voice to short films. His favorite role, he once said, was playing Estragon in Waiting for Godot, a testament to his love for complex, enduring characters. Monty Python's Michael Palin remembered him as always dependable, always convincing, and a very good man. His legacy lives on not only through cinema, but in the hearts of fans across generations. We invite you to share your memories below and subscribe to honor the timeless legacies of artists like Kenneth Colley. Farewell to Bob Elmore. The man behind Leatherface and a quiet force in Hollywood has died at 65. Bob Elmore, the veteran stuntman and actor best known for portraying Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and appearing in Pirates of the Caribbean, at World's End, has tragically passed away at the age of 65. His co-star, Caroline Williams, confirmed the news on July 2nd through a heartfelt Instagram tribute. Though the cause of death has not been publicly disclosed, Elmore's passing came as a shock. He was still actively booked for appearances, including the 2026 Horror Realm Convention, where fans had looked forward to seeing him again. Elmore began his career performing live stunts at Knott's Berry Farm in the early 1980s, later training under legendary stuntman Gene LaBelle. With his towering presence and gentle soul, he became a beloved figure in the stunt community, contributing to classic films like Casino, The Usual Suspects, City of Angels, and Being John Malkovich. Despite rarely taking center stage, Bob left an unforgettable mark. His portrayal of Leatherface remains iconic, both terrifying and strangely human, earning him a devoted international fan base. In a 2016 interview, he humbly reflected, "I don't know why people love that film so much, but I'm proud of it." Fans remembered him as a kind soul and a giant of a man with the most epic white beard. His legacy lives on, not just in movies, but in the quiet power of those who uplift others behind the scenes. Please subscribe to honor the lives and legacies of those who gave their all for cinema.
There were 68 bishops in my section, and I had to be there, and I had to provide...
Farewell to Bishop Carl F. Mengeling, a humble shepherd with a lasting legacy of faith. The Most Reverend Carl F. Mengeling, Bishop Emeritus of Lansing, passed away peacefully in the early hours of July 1st, 2025, at the age of 94. His death was confirmed by the Diocese of Lansing, where he served with devotion from 1996 to 2008. Bishop Mengeling's legacy is etched into the spiritual and physical fabric of Michigan's Catholic community. During his 12-year episcopate, he dedicated 12 new churches, 6 chapels, 3 altars, and multiple community centers. He founded Bethany House for youth ministry and championed the expansion of Catholic education. In 2000, he launched Faith, a nationally awarded Catholic magazine, where he was a regular contributor. His episcopal motto, "He must increase," reflected his humble heart and servant leadership. Born in Indiana to German immigrants, Mengeling was baptized Catholic at age 9, ordained a priest in 1957, and earned doctorates in theology from Rome. He served as a page during the Second Vatican Council and later taught theology before returning to parish ministry for nearly 30 years. He died at Mother Teresa House in Lansing, surrounded by peace and prayer. Bishop Boyea called him a blessing full of joy. Paul A. Long remembered, "A good and happy man with a loving heart." He is laid to rest at St. Joseph Catholic Cemetery in Lansing. We honor his quiet strength and invite you to subscribe to celebrate more lives of impact and faith.
Take us to the final of the Nations League. He scored a hat-trick, I think, again.
Farewell to Diogo Jota, the beloved Liverpool forward. Taken far too soon at 28. Diogo Jota, the gifted Portuguese forward for Liverpool FC and the national team, has tragically passed away at the age of 28. He and his younger brother, André da Silva, were killed instantly in a devastating car accident in Zamora, Spain, on July 3rd. The news was confirmed by Portuguese media and later mourned by Liverpool and the football world. Jota leaves behind a brilliant legacy. Since joining Liverpool in 2020, he scored 65 goals in 182 appearances, helping the club win the Premier League, FA Cup, and 2 League Cups. With 49 caps and 14 goals for Portugal, he played a vital role in their Nations League triumphs in 2019 and 2025. He had just celebrated his wedding 11 days earlier, after over a decade of love and 3 beautiful children. Liverpool, honoring his legacy, will pay out the remaining 2 years of his contract, nearly $20 million, to his family, and has established an education fund for his children. The club paused pre-season training and opened memorials at Anfield. His teammates were devastated. Mohamed Salah wrote, "I fear going back to Liverpool without Jota. Not like this, never like this." Coach Arne Slot added, "You will never walk alone." laid to rest in Gondomar, Portugal, where he married just days earlier, Jada's light was brief, but brilliant. Subscribe to celebrate his memory and honor the quiet strength behind this remarkable journey. Farewell, Kylie Paige, the radiant star of adult entertainment, remembered for her vibrant spirit and untold struggles, has tragically passed away at the age of 28. Her death, confirmed by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office, sent waves of sorrow through the entertainment industry. Though the cause has not been publicly disclosed, her passing leaves behind a void felt deeply by her colleagues, fans, and those who knew her generous soul. Kylie Paige rose to fame in 2016, becoming a beloved figure through her work with major studios like Brazzers, Naughty America, and Vixen Media Group. Beyond the screen, she was known for her candid appearance in Netflix's Hot Girls Wanted Turned On, a documentary that shed light on the raw, emotional experiences within the adult film industry. Under the name Bonnie Kins, she shared her journey of reclaiming identity, revealing her dreams of motherhood and her battle with substance abuse. Despite the pressures and complexities of her world, Kylie was celebrated for her kindness, laughter, and the light she brought to every room. Friends and colleagues remembered her as a free spirit and a truly gentle and joyful soul. Kylie Paige's legacy lives on not only in her work, but in the honest humanity she shared with the world, a reminder of resilience, vulnerability, and grace. May she rest in peace, and may her story inspire compassion and understanding.
Hi, I'm Jim Shooter. I've been in the comic book business or all around it for about 60 years.
Jim Shooter, the visionary Marvel editor-in-chief who reshaped comic book history, has tragically passed away at the age of 73. His son, Benjamin Shooter, confirmed that Jim died on June 30th, 2025, after a battle with esophageal cancer, closing the chapter on one of the most transformative lives in modern publishing. Shooter's legendary journey began at just 14, writing for DC Comics to help support his struggling family. By 26, he rose to become Marvel's editor-in-chief, where he ushered in a golden era through groundbreaking titles like Uncanny X-Men, Daredevil, and the industry-defining Secret Wars. His push for creator royalties and editorial discipline redefined fairness in the comics world. Behind the public triumphs were private trials, clashes with creatives, his controversial firing, and the steep climb to launch Valiant Comics. But Shooter never stopped building, mentoring, and championing integrity. As writer Larry Hama recalled, Shooter quietly helped a dying artist's family access health insurance because it was the right thing to do. He leaves behind no publicly known family beyond his son, but millions of fans, and an enduring legacy. His impact stretches from Marvel's modern model to today's indie revolutions. Rest in peace, Jim Shooter. The stories you told, the voices you empowered, and the vision you lived will never be forgotten.
And fly in a helicopter and see the Americans shooting up or being shot at by the Viet
Sandy
Cong,
Gall,
whatever it is.
the iconic ITV news presenter and war correspondent, known for his courageous reporting across global conflicts, has passed away at the age of 97. Tragically, Sandy Gall died peacefully at his home in Kent on Sunday, as confirmed by his family, who remembered him as a man whose life was generously and courageously lived. For over 5 decades, Gall stood at the front lines of history, from the assassination of JFK in Dallas to the jungles of Vietnam and the war-ravaged mountains of Afghanistan. His work at ITN, especially as co-presenter of News at 10, made him one of Britain's most trusted broadcast voices. He was among the few journalists to remain in Saigon after its fall in 1975, and one of the first to interview Martin Luther King Jr. during the Civil Rights era. For his contributions, Gall was honored with a CBE in 1987 and later a companion of the Order of St. Michael and St. George in 2011. But perhaps most inspiring was his post-retirement dedication, founding Sandy Gall's Afghanistan Appeal, a charity that supported disabled Afghans for nearly 40 years. It was a profound comeback, from documenting war to healing its wounds. As colleague John Suchet shared, "A gentleman, his name will always be tied to history's biggest stories." Sandy Gall's legacy lives on not only in archives and awards, but in lives changed by his relentless empathy and unwavering voice.
I just said yes without reading the script. I assumed that Warner Brothers
Val
would have a
Kilmer,
good idea.
the magnetic actor behind Iceman and Batman, has tragically passed away at the age of 65. His daughter, Mercedes, confirmed his passing due to complications from pneumonia, following a years-long battle with throat cancer. Val took his final breath in Los Angeles on April 1st, 2025, a city that shaped his artistic soul and witnessed his incredible rise. From his breakout role in Top Gun, 1986, to his unforgettable turn as Doc Holliday in Tombstone, and stepping into the cape as Batman in 1995, Kilmer built a career filled with intensity, charm, and creative daring. A classically trained actor and Juilliard alum, he was once among the most sought-after talents in Hollywood, amassing a net worth of $10 million. But behind the fame was a story of resilience. Diagnosed with throat cancer in 2014, Kilmer underwent tracheotomies and lost his voice, yet he never lost his spirit. He returned in Top Gun, Maverick using AI-assisted voice synthesis, and shared his powerful journey in the 2021 documentary, Val, co-produced with his children. His children, Jack and Mercedes, remembered him as a gentle, brilliant father and creative force. Kilmer's legacy lives on, not only in the iconic characters he portrayed, but in the courage he showed off-screen. If this tribute touched you, consider subscribing for more heartfelt memorials honoring legends who shaped our lives. Tragically confined. Wendy Williams's silent battle with memory loss and isolation. There was a time when her voice could stop traffic, when a single phrase, "How you doin'?" echoed through living rooms across America like a playful trumpet of truth. Wendy Williams didn't just talk for a living, she redefined what it meant to be unapologetically seen, heard, and felt. But now, that once thunderous voice is locked behind the quiet doors of a memory care unit, her vibrant presence reduced to guarded glimpses and hushed headlines. Today, we revisit the extraordinary journey of a woman who built a media empire with her bare hands and booming words, only to find herself tragically confined by forces she never saw coming. This is not just a story of fame, scandal, or even illness. It is a story of legacy, of comeback, of redemption, and of one woman's undying fight to remain visible in a world that would rather silence her. If you remember Wendy, laughing, dancing, spilling tea with fearless honesty, we invite you to join us. Share your memories in the comments. Tell us when she made you laugh or made you feel seen. Because beyond the headlines, this is still her story, and it deserves to be told with dignity, depth, and love. Born on July 18, 1964, in Asbury Park, New Jersey, Wendy Joan Williams entered the world to the sound of crashing waves and talk radio humming in the kitchen. She was the second of 3 children in a household led by 2 educators, her mother Shirley, a special education teacher, and her father Thomas Sr., a principal and later a college professor. While her sister Wanda excelled academically and her younger brother Tommy explored science kits, Wendy found her place through personality, performance, and volume. From an early age, she was described as too loud, too tall, too much. But those very qualities would become the foundation of her cultural impact. By the time she was 6, Wendy was choreographing lip-sync shows in the living room, conducting mock interviews with neighborhood pets and taping imaginary broadcasts on the family's cassette recorder. When bullies mocked her plus-size frame, she learned to fight back with wit sharper than any playground insult. "You get one chance to clap back," she once said, "so make it count." In high school, she seized the mic for morning announcements and transformed her chatterbox label into political currency, winning student council seats and commanding hallway attention. And when a career counselor asked what she wanted to do with her life, she didn't flinch. "I'll get paid to talk." That ambition led her to Northeastern University, where she studied communications and honed her voice through campus radio. Her college years were not glamorous, they were gritty. Wendy took the overnight shifts no one wanted, devoured FCC rule books, and hosted wild call-in games to keep listeners awake past midnight. Her summer internships, from filing tape carts at WRKS in Harlem to grabbing an open mic in St. Croix when a DJ overslept, painted the early strokes of a broadcast style that would soon ignite America. Fierce, funny, and fearlessly honest. After graduating in 1986, Wendy launched her career in Washington, D.C., then quickly ascended to New York's Hot 97 and WBLS. She carved out her spot in the male-dominated world of urban radio with raw charisma and emotional transparency. Callers trusted her. Celebrities feared her. Program directors couldn't look away. She turned midday drive slots into must-hear confessionals, blending gossip with guidance like no one else on the dial. But it was 2008 that marked the start of her true cultural explosion. When Debmar Mercury took a chance on a 6-week trial run of The Wendy Williams Show, few expected a breakout hit. But with its signature purple couch, Ask Wendy segments, and spontaneous dance breaks, the show became daytime dynamite, reshaping the landscape of American talk TV. She didn't chase respectability. She created a space where real talk ruled, and vulnerability was the new authority. Across 12 seasons, she interviewed everyone from A-list celebrities to reality TV newcomers, often steering the conversation toward moments of realness. "I'm not Barbara Walters," she once said with a wink, "but I'm the friend in your head." Her candor became her crown, and her audience followed her from television to podcasts, red carpets, bestsellers, and even a Broadway stage. Her limited-run role as Mama Morton in Chicago earned her standing ovations and extended the show's run. Her signature mug, a rhinestone-encrusted crown-shaped cup, sat on her table every episode, a sparkling extension of her persona, unfiltered, extravagant, unmistakably hers. And behind the glamour, there was always hustle. She once ran a show segment live from her doctor's office to raise awareness about lymphedema, her chronic swelling condition, turning personal pain into public service. Legacy wasn't just what she built, it was how she shared it. By 2015, The Wendy Williams Show aired in more than 50 countries, drew millions of daily viewers, and racked up daytime Emmy nominations. Her "How you doin'" greeting became a cultural calling card. From radio towers to Broadway footlights, Wendy had not just arrived, she had conquered. And yet, as the spotlight grew brighter, the shadows behind it began to deepen. But for every high note, there is always a silence that follows. For Wendy, the silence came like a slow fade, first as whispers of exhaustion, then as physical collapse, then as headlines she couldn't outrun. In 2017, she fainted live on air during a Halloween episode, dressed as the Statue of Liberty, eyes wide, voice trailing off into static. It was a moment that went viral, but it wasn't staged. It was the first visible crack in the foundation. Doctors soon confirmed it was related to her Graves' disease, an autoimmune disorder affecting her thyroid and energy levels. She kept going. The show went on. But behind the purple couch, the strain was growing. In 2018, she quietly suffered a shoulder fracture. In 2019, the marriage that had lasted 22 years fell apart in the most public way imaginable. Her husband, Kevin Hunter, who had been her longtime manager, was found to have fathered a child with another woman. Wendy filed for divorce, moved out of their home, and began broadcasting from a Manhattan apartment. Then, in the midst of rebuilding, the woman who had once been her biggest cheerleader, her mother Shirley, passed away. It was quiet, Wendy would later say on air, choking back tears. She slipped away, and I had to find my voice again. But it wasn't just grief or betrayal. In 2020, her ankles began to swell from lymphedema. Her metabolism crashed under the weight of graves. Rumors swirled about her drinking. Her speech, once razor-sharp, began to falter. And by 2022, Wendy's bank accounts were frozen by Wells Fargo, citing concerns about her cognitive health. A court-ordered guardianship followed. Wendy no longer had control over her finances, her schedule, or even her medical care. The woman who had built an empire by talking could now only speak when given permission. In July 2024, on her 60th birthday, Wendy attempted a small act of rebellion. According to the documentary, Trapped, what is happening to Wendy Williams? She slipped out of her assisted living floor, rode the elevator up to a rooftop bar, and ordered a drink. And then another, and another. She will admit to you that she got drunk, journalist Diane Diamond revealed. She had a relapse. That moment, equal parts defiance and heartbreak, led to her being transferred to the facility's memory care unit. She now lives on a locked floor, allowed outside only with guardian approval. I've only been let out twice in 30 days, Wendy recently said. It's a crime to keep somebody isolated like this. Still, even in confinement, Wendy's voice has not disappeared. In early 2023, she launched The Wendy Experience, a raw, unscripted podcast recorded from her apartment. The audio wasn't perfect, the lighting was improvised, but her spirit was unmistakable. I am open to what I am open to, she told people in a moment of soft rebellion, when asked about her refusal to participate in neurological testing. It wasn't defiance, it was a whisper of agency, a quiet reclaiming of self. She returned to journaling, handwritten pages filled with affirmations. She called her son Kevin Jr. regularly, watched his college football games, and sent him care packages labeled with glittery stickers. On Sundays, she filmed short vlogs in compression boots, talking candidly about chronic illness, turning shame into advocacy. Her sobriety journey wasn't linear, but it was honest. Legacy, for Wendy, had always meant more than fame. She rechanneled her energy into helping others, donating wig line proceeds to buy tablets for underserved students during the pandemic, and continuing to fund rehabilitation scholarships through the Wendy Williams Foundation. In the quiet, she became a veteran mentor in new ways, guiding aspiring broadcasters through Zoom, speaking to Northeastern University students about voice, vulnerability, and the high cost of visibility. Her once viral Shoot Your Shot Fridays became a teaching point in media courses on how to humanize entertainment. Her rhinestone mug may no longer be on camera, but it sits beside her desk still, unwashed, unshaken, waiting. Today, Wendy Williams resides in a memory care unit on the 5th floor of an assisted living facility in New York City. Her world, once sprawling across syndication networks and red carpets, has narrowed to a quiet room with a television, a journal, and a few guarded calls to family. She is, in many ways, confined, but she is not gone. Her health, though fragile, is not without clarity. She continues to live with lymphedema and Graves' disease, and her neurological diagnosis remains a matter of legal and medical contention. Still, she insists on her sobriety journey, on her will to be heard, to be counted. My relationship with substances is fine and wonderful, she said recently. I am easily going on with my life, alcohol-free. In a world that monitors every misstep, she continues to reclaim her narrative, one breath at a time. Her influence endures in small, unflashy moments. Former staffers recall how she once stayed late after tapings to write thank you notes to audience members. Today, she mentors young women through virtual workshops. She funds scholarships for communication students at Northeastern University. Her digital team still uploads vintage, hot topics clips for new generations, discovering her cultural impact for the first time. She has not faded, she has adapted. Even her physical space speaks volumes. Her desk, cluttered with pastel pens and stacks of legal pads, sits beneath a large black and white portrait of her parents. Her rhinestone mug remains nearby, now used to hold scented markers. She still plays R&B on low volume while she writes. She still sings along. In the quiet moments of the day, after meals, after medication, she walks the perimeter of the hallway with purpose. And when allowed outdoors, she slips on oversized sunglasses, tucks a cupcake into her tote bag, and walks beside the Hudson River. Slowly, deliberately. She watches the water, breathes deeply. The woman who once orchestrated television chaos now embraces simplicity with grace. There's something poetic about that image. A woman once surrounded by cameras and crew, now becoming her own audience of one. She no longer needs applause to measure her worth. Her comeback doesn't require a network deal. Her redemption lives in every step she takes with intention, in every moment she chooses stillness over spectacle. So what is legacy, really? For Wendy Williams, it's not just a long-running talk show or a best-selling book. It's not just the viral catchphrases or even the Emmy nominations. It's in the young broadcasters who cite her as a blueprint. It's in the plus-size girls who saw her strut unapologetically in heels. It's in the recovering voices who watched her speak openly about relapse, grief, and healing. Her journey reminds us that even when the mic turns off, your story can still echo. As one of her favorite mantras goes, I am open to what I am open to. It's a line both cryptic and profound, an anthem of boundaries, of resilience, of grace under pressure. In it lies the dignity of a woman who refuses to be erased. And so, if you ever laughed with Wendy, cried with Wendy, danced with Wendy, don't let the memory fade. Share this video. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let her know that her voice still matters. Because even now, in the silence, she is still speaking. This is her legacy. This is her redemption. And this, most certainly, is not her ending. Subscribe to our channel for more stories of courage, resilience, and cultural icons who shaped our world. Until next time, take care of each other, and keep listening for the voices that dare to be loud even when the world goes quiet.